All right, we are live. Welcome, rock stars. Good to have you. Nice to have you on the broadcast. My name is Borino. Welcome to this special edition. Welcome, it's your coach Borino, special edition COVID-19 live Borino on Rockstars every Tuesday. Good to see you. Man, I don't know. How do you function in these things? I hate it. I mean, you know what's really hard about these masks? I understand why we wear them. I understand. I'm not against them. But drinking coffee, goddamn hard. Impossible almost. So I'm all for the safety and the compliance, but you don't mind if I take these off, right? We'll be okay. We'll keep social distancing. Good to see you, my friends. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, my name is Borino. I've been a real estate coach, first an agent, now a coach and author. I have several systems out there on expired listings for sell by owners, mainly how to get listings. I teach. I do live sessions. I'm an expert on communication. I teach stuff that does not require complicated systems, a lot of money, advertising. You don't need to be pushy, salesy, scripted, arrogant, aggressive to get a lot of business. That's how I got business, and that's what I teach you guys now. And with that, we do these live Q&A sessions. Good to have you, my friends. Let me turn this off. Enough pompous self-presentation of my name. It's just Borino, no last name. Don't ask why. It's a story for another, not a broadcast. Anyway, how have you been? How do you like the new setup? Yeah? You guys are liking it? What do you think? Let's see. David likes it. Well, good. I'm glad you like it, David. That's awesome. Kyle is with us. Welcome, Kat, Andy, Benito, Bill. Good to have you. David joining us. Lovely to have you, my friends. So, I'm here to answer your questions today. We're going to be talking about thriving during these absolutely unprecedented, crazy times. Where is the business right now? Where is the business headed? How I can help you convert more prospects into clients, into listings, into commissions right now. I call it Cappuccino with Borino. I have this lovely cappuccino in front of me. Whatever questions you have, please post them. I'll be more than happy to answer. I am here to serve you, to help you, to inspire you, to guide you and teach you. In case you're wondering, many of you responded. A couple of weeks ago, about 2-3 weeks ago, I asked you guys, what would help you the most right now? And I offered several classes, several boot camps I teach, expired FISBO, listing presentation. There was a whole bunch of video, things I normally teach. You know what the number one answer was? By far, won by a huge margin, confident communication and influence. How do you communicate with leads, with prospects, with existing leads that you have? How do you follow up with them? How to handle objections? How to get more appointments, get more business right now? How to wear the stupid mask and still communicate effectively? On Zoom, in person, on the phone. So I put together a brand new class called the Confident Communication Bootcamp. It's coming up in August. There'll be more information coming, but I just want to let you know I heard you. We put together the class. It's based on my system called Core Influence. You're going to get a stack of cards with dialogues. You're going to get all kinds of psychology, ninja tricks. You're going to see how to influence people without manipulating them, without being pushy, and without getting rejection. You will also learn what triggers rejection, how to avoid it, how to create relationship with people, build trust, without being needy, without sucking up, kissing anybody's ass. You don't need to do that either. So no extremes. Okay, so that's coming. I thought you would enjoy that. Knowing that you requested it, you got it. Okay, Sean likes the studio. Glad you like it. Jeremy, hey, how you feeling, my man? Hope you're doing better. Love the look. Good. I'm glad you like the new studio. Now, you remember in the old broadcast, in the old studio, I had the giant board behind me. That's coming. I miss not being able to write notes and diagrams and all that crazy scientific stuff that I used to put behind me. So that's coming. That's coming. That actually should be delivered today, and we have a team coming tomorrow to install it, and you're going to be able to see it tomorrow. I'm really excited. It's going to be different. It's going to be new, and I think you will appreciate it. All right. With that said, let's talk practical stuff. What practical help do you need? Where are you right now? What do you need help with the most? Where are you? What's going on in your business right now? Are you still kind of lingering in that whole false hope things will get better? It ain't gonna get better. Not for a while. Not for a while. I'm not here to fearmonger you. I'm not here to scare you. But the reality is what we got for a while. It's gonna be like this for a while. Hard to get good listings. People are skittish. Buyers are a dime a dozen. Please don't work with buyers. Focus on listings. They're not easy to find, I give you that, but they're out there. There are opportunities out there. June stats are out from NAR, and they're predicting 4.72 million transactions. 4.72 million transactions closed, including the coronavirus stats. All of that points to a strong year. Remember that big debacle 2006, 7, 8, 9? Remember the fiasco savings and loan? Even then, we closed over 4 million deals. Over 4 million homes were sold. Even the worst possible real estate year. This is not going to be like that. There are no indication that we're going to go into a deep trouble like we did in those years. Plenty of business. But where are you getting stuck? What is the problem? Is it finding the right leads? Getting the leads, lead generation? Or is it conversion? Building strong follow-up with those leads to convert them into appointments? Or is it converting appointments into listings? Which part of this? That's the cool thing about what I teach. 3 moving parts. I have a hard time with my fingers today for some reason. 3 moving parts. Getting leads, getting appointments, getting listings. That's all I teach. That's all you need to know. How do I get good motivated sellers? Where do I find them? How do I approach them? How do I build a relationship with them? Then how do I keep in touch until they're ready to get an appointment with them? And then how do I turn those appointments, virtual appointments or actual appointments, into good listings? You know how to do these 3 things? You're in business. You have a good, profitable business. So where do you get stuck? What is the problem? Hey, Mr. Jason Fazia, good to see you, my friend. Rockstar agent. You're in Indiana, Jason, right? So let's see what our good friend Jason is saying. He says, have a referral that is a buyer from a friend. Typically don't take buyers, but it was a referral. Had her in a pending deal. Inspection went poorly and a buyer wanted out of the deal. Since then, I've showed her a few homes and she seemed cool, but she's recently gone cold and not responding to text. She mentioned looking for an apartment temporarily, but still wanted to buy. Any thoughts on should I just let her go? The quick answer, Jason, no. And I know that's not really what I normally tell you guys is don't work with buyers. I would not let her go for one simple reason. You treat referrals differently than you would a regular buyer. Because now the relationship you have with the person who referred this buyer to you, you can put in jeopardy by not doing your best. With that being said, you cannot afford to invest a lot of time, effort, and energy, working with someone like this. If somebody goes cold on you, there are only 2 reasons. Only 2 reasons. Moving is no longer a priority for them. Now, in her case, it could be all kinds of things. You guys been in this business long enough, you understand that it can be health reasons, it could be money reasons, relationship reasons, job reasons. There's all kinds of factors that can suddenly change on people that will derail their plans to move. That's possible number 1. Possible number 2, they still want to move, but something shifted in a relationship with you. And this is one of the reasons why I so adamantly discourage you from working with buyers. You see, you don't offer any value. And I hate to bring this to you, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I hate to burst your bubble. But friends, working with buyers, they see no value working with you. Don't give me this bullshit, I'll find you the property, I'm going to negotiate the best deal for you. Nonsense. You're going to try to convince them to write the best offer possible, you're going to put it together, you're going to present it to the listing agent. The end. There's no fancy negotiations, there are no skills involved in that. You fill out paperwork for them. The information you provide, which is homes on the market, they can get on Zillow, Realtor.com, and a bunch of other sites on the web. Now, there is nothing from their perspective that you bring to the table in most cases. Yes, you have expertise. Yes, you can guide them with the best mortgage and what to do about inspections. You have a lot of knowledge and skill. They don't give a shit. They want the perfect house. And whoever can get them to them, and very often in their mind it's the listing agent who has direct access to the seller, that's the one who to go with. There's very little loyalty. And again, it has nothing to do with your skill or your personality or your desire to serve. It is the buyer's perspective because they're on the market not to find the agent, but to find the best house. And whoever's going to get it to them is the one who they will choose to represent them. The end. So don't kid yourself. Don't tell yourself these stories how valuable to our buyers. You're not. Your best service is to serve sellers, to find good listings. Those will naturally attract good buyers. Your sellers will become buyers. You will double end transactions. You will be able to pick and choose good, motivated, qualified sellers who do need your and want your help. But there are not that many out there, especially not in this market. So don't lose focus on listings. Get listings. You've got to master getting good listings. You cannot be jack of all trades. You cannot do 15 different things. Master 4 core lead generation funnels. And if I were to start all over again, if I were to do it all over again, I would start working expireds for sell by owners, my referral base, follow up with existing leads like a mofo, go really heavy on that, and own my neighborhood. That's it. You don't need to do anything more than that. And I would spend very little time and effort with buyers. Now, what can you do in a specific case like that? I would reach out with a very honest thing. Hey, look, I know life changes, things change, plans change. Should I keep in touch? Is there anything I can do? Here is the objective, and this is a skill, and we're going to work on this during our confidence bootcamp. Your job, and Jason, you're very good at it. You're a very good communicator. Your job is to set up circumstances, to set up conditions, to set up relationship between you and your prospects where they feel safe to tell you the truth. This is very important. You need to set up circumstances and conditions where there is enough authentic truth, conversation, communication going back and forth, where they can tell you the truth. You need to be prepared to hear it, and you need to be okay with it. And you need to not react, but respond. And that's not easy. It's not easy to hear, we don't really need you, or we changed our mind, or we found another property, or whatever. Or they may tell you, our finances have changed. What we had thought would be possible to buy the house right now doesn't look that way. There are indications I may lose a job, or there are whatever, health, life, family. There's all kinds of factors that can turn on them. What you need to do is, by being open, honest communicator with them, not being attached, not being needy, not being desperate to get that commission and get that deal and sell them something, but find the best solution for them. You will open the channel of very authentic, real communication. And you know what? I would rather hear the truth where they tell me, we're not going to buy for a year. Thank you so much for your help, but right now, the way things are in our life, we just have to put it on hold. Perfect. I know where I am. No pressure, no need. I'll tell you what, I'll keep in touch with you every few months, just ping you, let you know what's going on. You never know. Sometimes things change. Maybe you win the lottery, who knows? I'm here for you. That's it, and I can move on. I still nurture the relationship. I would update the original person who had referred me, says, look, something has changed. They're not ready. They're not going to be buying for a while, but I'll be keeping in touch. I very much appreciate the referral. Now you served your prospect. Now you served your friend or client who referred you, and now you can finally focus on where the money is. That's what I would do. And it's not that hard. And I tell you something, once you master this, and it really is just a matter of detaching, not being emotionally attached, not being needy, and then having the verbal communication skills, or texting, but it's hard over text, it's much easier over the phone, to just listen and be kind and compassionate enough to understand that people deal with all kinds of shit in their life. That's your role, the guide, the counselor, not a needy, desperate, pushy salesperson. We're going to work on that. The bootcamp will be really good about it. Speaking of which, if you guys want, I'll do something cool. It's going to drive my staff crazy, but Roseanne, Jane, all of you guys, forgive me. There will be 4 videos that we're going to release as a pre-launch to the bootcamp. They're all, each is about 15 minutes with tons of good lessons. The first one is on building confidence, setting up patterns, and avoiding rejection. It's really good. Second one will be asking the right questions, having these kind of conversations. Third one will be on objections, and fourth one will be mastering confidence. If you want to have a sneak peek before everybody else on these videos, it's free. It's a great class. I recorded it here for you. Post an email below here in the comments, and we'll hook you up. You will be able to see them. I think you will appreciate it. I think you will like it. Okay? So just post in an email, give me your email. We'll put you on it, so you'll be able to see all 4. First one will be released this week. Second one next week, but you'll get a little free taste. Cool? So that's coming. Jason, was that helpful? Yes? All right. Cool. Brandy says, I'm getting in debt trying to get my business running properly. Well, let me show you instead of just telling you. This show is show and tell, not just tell. All right. Hey, Brandy, good to have you. Watching us on YouTube. Ciao. I'm getting in debt trying to get my business running properly. If I stay in a business, I'm going to drown in debt. Should I quit? Oh, man, that's a loaded question. No, you should definitely not quit, but you should definitely not drown in debt either. So let's address that. First things first, a story. When I started in real estate, I was piss broke. I mean, I was homeless for a while. Literally, I was sleeping in the car. I didn't have a home. I got kicked out of a little place in Downey, California, where I was renting just a room. It was a room and a half bathroom. And there were two of us renting it. This lady, older lady, was renting room by room. She had a sublet. Kicked me out because I was behind. And it was like $400 a month, something like that. Got kicked out. Slept in my car behind a liquor store on Rosemead Boulevard in Pico Rivera. For those of you friends in Southern California and LA area, I don't know if it's still there. Would be curious to revisit it. I haven't been there in a while. Anyway, so I know a thing or two about being broke. You cannot run a profitable business. You cannot be in a good mental state. You cannot be confident, comfortable. You cannot be easy about getting deals. You will be desperate, needy, subconsciously. Trying desperately to get paid if you're in such a dire financial situation. And I'm just speaking from experience because I've been there. Randy, so I get it. So the first thing you got to do is you've got to get your finances under control. Not get rich, not win lottery or anything, but get them in a point where you have enough to pay the bills, to eat, to support your family if you have one, and to run your business. And it doesn't need to be outrageous. That's why the systems I teach, the stuff I teach you, confident communication and FISBOs and experts, very little investment. Compared to like running Facebook ads or doing SEO, doing online stuff, very simple. You don't need complicated systems, don't need that. But you still need a little bit of money to run your business. Gas money and MLS dues and lockbox, you know, the usual stuff you're going to need to run your business. And maybe do a little bit of advertising, postage, that kind of stuff, like the expired brochure, you know. But it's a few dollars. But you must get it under control. Because it's going to be that fear. Like, I used to wake up. And it was usually between 3 and 4 in the morning. Worrying crazy about money. I would be literally staring at the ceiling, going, how am I going to pay my car payment? They're going to take my car. They're going to kick me out. I was worried silly. So maybe you're there, maybe not that desperate, but the first thing you've got to do is get it under control. So here's what I did. I found a job. I was a bartender. There was only one small hitch with that. I didn't know how to make drinks. I would get everybody fucking drunk like crazy on the bar, but I didn't know how to mix those fancy drinks. One time these two girls came, they would like to have sex on the beach. I'm like, excuse me? Didn't know. I swear I did not know that was a drink. I'm like, pretty straightforward. Okay. So I had a nighttime job. I would start at 6 in the evening and work till 11, 5-hour shifts. That would generate enough income, plus they would feed me as an employee, so I could get my business up and running. So for a few months, that's what I did. And yes, it was hard. Yes, it required more time, more energy. Yes, I would lose opportunities and deals and chance to meet with people who said, no, we got to meet you at 6 o'clock. I couldn't tell them, I'm bartending. Stop by Fiddlers. I'll give you free beer if you list with me. I should have thought of that. Why didn't I think of that? Shit. Would have been a good marketing. So get it under control first. Number 2, put a budget together. And I hate budgets. I hate accounting. I swear. If I ever have to run budgets and accounting and the accounts and checks and all that in my company, we're out of business in 30 days flat. I can't do it. I suck at it, nor do I want to be good at it. I have, fortunately, now people. But since you can't afford to hire people, you got to do it yourself. So you got to figure out, what does it take for me to live plus run my business? And then you have to figure out, how do I cover that? Because this business, it's about a 90-day window. It's a 90-day cycle. In other words, what you're doing today, your actions, your prospecting, your lead generation, will start paying off in about 3 months. There's about a 3-month delay on average. People foolishly think, going back to talking about buyers, hey, get a buyer, you're going to get paid faster. Bullshit. That is so not true. Good listing is money in the bank, especially now. Think about it. If you put a good listing on the market today, if it's priced well, looks semi-clean, you get it staged, it looks nice, you're going to get offers within a day or two, right? That's money in the bank, not buyers. So 1, get your money under control. 2, make a simple budget. 3, come up with a plan. You can't be meandering in this business. That doesn't go for you, Brian. That's for everybody. Make a simple plan. What are you going to accomplish this week? And I'm not just talking about to-do list. I'm talking, Where is my business going to come from? Because if you are not in control, somebody else is. And that's the last thing you want, is to have your finances, your business, your life to be controlled by somebody else. So if you're not driving, if you're not holding on that steering wheel, somebody else will. And there are people who will gladly grab it for you and try to sell you leads online and try to sell you all kinds of system and sell you all kinds of bullshit. I get those emails, I know. So got to get it under control. You can. You can. And yes, it's tough at the beginning. You know why? You watch that SpaceX rocket? I love that stuff. Like, I love all the stuff about rockets and NASA and stars and universe. I dig that. The rocket burns up to 80% of its fuel on the takeoff. Majority of the fuel of that rocket is burnt at the takeoff. Because it needs to fight gravity and it needs to build momentum. You deal with the same thing. When your business is taking off, it's going to take a lot of fuel. Now, it's not going to be a lot of cash. You don't need a lot of cash. That's the beauty of this. You don't need to spend 4 years in college and have hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans. You don't need to invest in office. You don't need to invest in employees and stock and in inventory. But you're going to pay with time and boatload of effort and boatload of education where you have to learn a lot of stuff. This is not a simple business. I mean, generating business is not that complicated. You talk to people, you approach people, you follow up with people, build a relationship with them. So it's not like 170 different steps. But it's tough. The reality is, whenever there is an opportunity to make 150,000, 200,000, 300,000, 500,000, million, I mean, I do have students who make over $1 million. I issued a challenge yesterday on The Path. I have a private coaching group. And my challenge was, I want to take 100 students and I want to challenge them to make $250,000 or more in the next 12 months. That was my challenge. You can do that in real estate. It's possible. So the price you're going to pay is weekends, long hours, a lot of education, discomfort. You're not sitting somewhere in a cubicle. Oh, it's coffee time. Oh, la, 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 la. I'm going to have some coffee right now. And then I'm going to check what's new on YouTube, and I'm going to do... No. You hustle. You're going to work your ass off. You want to know why 80% of the people fail in this business? It's not because they don't work hard. It's not because they're stupid. They don't realize how much discomfort, how much effort, knowledge, and skills they have to build. In other words, they don't know what it takes. And those that do know are not willing to do it. Are you willing to do it? Because if the answer is yes, there are answers out there, trainings like this one, my videos, books, groups like Rockstars. They will help you. They will guide you. Get money under control. Then set up a simple budget, set up a simple plan, work like a motherfucker. Work your ass off. Really push. There's no reason why you or anybody else cannot succeed in this business. Most people won't. You know why, but you can. All right? Is that helpful? Okie dokie. So I hope that helped. Bradley. So don't quit. Anthony has a great question. You guys have fantastic questions today. I'm loving it. Are you enjoying it? Is it good? Give me some love. Give me some thumbs up. Yeah? All right. Here we go. So where is Anthony? Here, please explain branding yourself as a newer agent. What a good question. Let me explain what branding yourself as a newer agent means. Branding means, the definition of branding in real estate, and I'll give you a simple one. I like simple. I don't like complicated. I don't like fluffy phrases that blow smoke up your ass, make you feel important, but don't make you money. Here's what branding in real estate means. A lot of people know who you are, what you do, how to get in touch with you, and why they can trust you. If you do that, you branded yourself well. It's like a chair. It needs to have these 4 pillars, or a table. It needs to have who you are. They need to recognize your face, your name, your voice, like on the phone. What you do, I help home sellers at Lake Barcroft sell for the most money possible within a week. That's a good brand. How to get in touch with you. My cousin needs to sell a house. How do I get hold of Borino? Boom. That needs to be readily available, because if there's a barrier, if it requires too much effort, fuck it. Not going to deal with it. And the 4th one, that's the most important one. where they can trust you. Either they will do business with you or they can refer somebody who you are ready to help. That's good branding. That's what you need to accomplish. Now, you need to accomplish it on all channels. Social media channels need to communicate. This is who I am. Here's what I do. This is why you can trust me. Now, you can't just go out. My name is Borino. I help home sellers. Trust me. That's not going to work. That'd be pretty silly. Now, you can try it. I tried stupid stuff like that. Sometimes you'd be surprised, but this one won't work. You need to do it indirectly. Building trust, building relationship. Step one, you're interested in them. You become curious about them. You make it all about them. You make it all about the people you want to serve. Because at the beginning, they don't give a shit who you are. They care about them. They want to share their story. They want to get their answers, their tips, their advice. So start with that. And then you build on that. You let the world know, here's what I do. I give information. I give advice. I hold your hand through the process. I'm here to help. Maybe we'll work together, maybe we won't. Maybe you want to sell, maybe you won't, that's fine. My job is to help, to be there for you, just like me. Look what I'm doing. I walk the walk. I give you a lot of information, I inspire you, I guide you, I help you, and some of you will become my clients. Awesome. Some of you already are, appreciate it very much. I know Jason, a bunch of you. Some of you will come do the boot camp with me, which I'm really excited about. We're going to limit it to 50 people. It's going to be a nice, cool class. 4 live sessions where I'll teach you all kinds of cool stuff about communication, all kinds of ninja tricks, and then we're going to have 3 live role play sessions. That's going to be a lot of fun, where we get on and actually try the stuff you learn in a class. I'm super stoked about it. I never taught it in this way, and it's going to be fabulous. So 50 of you will be able to come join us for that. But this is what I do. Give you information, post videos for you, post answers, and then some will become my clients. That's how my company makes money. That's how I feed my family. Everybody good. You get good information, good class, you learn something, make money. Everybody wins. You do the same. That's a good branding. Now, for new agents, build relationships. Build relationships. Don't go out. Please don't do this. It drives me crazy when I see agents, new agents go out. I'm in real estate now. Give me business. Nobody's going to do that. Would you go to your friend? Imagine you have a friend named Joe, and Joe has been a car mechanic for 20 years. And one day, you're going to get a letter from Joe that says, by the way, I no longer serve Toyotas. I am now a dentist. Come for a root canal. Would you go? Of course not. So start building a relationship, but don't start at the beginning saying, hey, I'm new, give me business, I'm desperate. It is more about, hey, I got this cool information for you. Check this out. I got this market update. Check this out. These are 5 new listings in the neighborhood. Check this out. This is what's selling right now. Here's where the mortgage rates are down. Whole bunch of cool, interesting information. That's how you start branding yourself. And then with repetition, that's the whole principle. Repetition, consistency, creates familiarity. You start with that. From familiarity, you start building connection, you start building relationship, you start building trust. And trust, as you know, is the foundation of your business. Yeah? Is that helpful? Anthony, what do you say? All right. Oops, sorry. Turn off my screen for a second there. Not a good idea during a live broadcast, Borino. I see a bunch of you giving me the emails. I see it. Fantastic. Expect an email, if not today, no later than tomorrow morning. You'll be able to see the first video. So I'm excited to share that with you. If you guys want to see all 4 videos, all 4 classes in advance, should post a quick email and we'll hook you up. All right. So Anthony, I hope that answered your question. Okay. Let's go here. There you go. Jeremy, how do you get a seller to agree to list at an advised price and not overpriced? Mr. Jeremy Marquez. Here it is. How do you get the seller to agree to list at an advised price? Great question. There are few tips I'm going to give you so that you can price your listings better. One, understand that it is not about who you are, it is about how you perceived. Here's what I mean. Your presentation, when it comes to what you're going to do as far as marketing, are you the right agent that they should list with, how much they should list for, does not happen when you talk about it with the seller, either face-to-face when you're doing the actual listing presentation or when you do it on Zoom. It's too late. It happens at the beginning. And it happens in 3 phases. Phase one is your first impression. And that usually happens, as you know, within 3-4 seconds. Very quickly, the prospect or later client decides, do I like this person? Is Jeremy really cool? Can we trust him? That happens super quick. It is unconscious, it is rapid, and it is not logical at all. It's all based on emotions. And this has nothing to do with the seller's intelligence or personality. This is purely emotional neural wiring. This is how we're wired. This is how our brains are wired. So it is so important for you guys who prospect and communicate to set up a good, strong first impression. You don't want to be too high, too aggressive, too energetic, too fast-talking salesman, too scripted. But you also don't want to be too low, needy, like me, low status, ragdoll. You need to be right in the middle. High status, confident, rock star agent. You accomplish it with 3 C's. Confidence, competence, that means you know what you're talking about, and compassion. So we start with that. Strong first impression, number 1. Number 2, through follow-up, you nurture that status. You advise the client, you guide the client, because what's happening through that process is you establishing authority. You cannot establish authority when it comes time to price the property. By then, they need to already perceive you as the authority. By then, they need to understand that they're in compliance with your suggestions. So this happens through follow-up. That's the second phase. And then the third phase just confirms, I'm the authority, I'm in charge, I can be trusted, and my recommendations will be followed. That's what happens during the presentation. Agents who try to wrestle it during the presentation, and worse, through some clever lines or learned scripts or memorized presentations, are in trouble, and it never works. That's why you guys get stuck. Because people sense when somebody's trying to push their agenda. People sense when it is about pricing it so I can get paid rather than pricing it so I can serve you well. So that's the setup. That's the theory. That's the neurobiology plus psychology. That's the stuff I teach. Now let's talk practical. You establish good first impression. You establish authority during your follow-up. You're positioned as the subject expert with a lot of compassion, a lot of competence, and a lot of confidence. You must have these 3 in place. Otherwise, none of this will work. Once you have that, you discuss with the seller and use this language. Now, this is not a script. Every time I say it, it's going to come out differently, but the message is always the same. It is important to communicate it with authority, but also compassion. Here's what you say. Jeremy, we're here tonight not to discuss what your house is worth. Because this is your home, and home has all the memories attached to it. Home is where you raise your kids. Home is where you have Thanksgiving. Home is where you bring that Christmas tree that was too tall and scrape the ceiling a little bit. You cannot put a price tag on it. And in your opinion, as you said, it's worth $700,000. There is no way to attach a price to a home. We're not here to discuss that. We're here to discuss what price will cause this property to sell. Because property, unlike home, once you move out, becomes empty walls, windows, doors, space. And unlike home, a property has a very specific price tag. There is a number that will cause this property to sell. My job is to make that number as high as possible, to put as much cash in your pocket as possible. So let's look at that. It's a 3-step process. First, we're going to look at our competition. What are other properties asking for in the area? Then we're going to look at what's pending right now. What price attracts buyers to homes very similar to yours? And then third, what is actually selling in the neighborhood? We compare these 3 groups, and we'll very clearly determine what price will cause it to sell. So let's go through it real quick. And you go right into your listing presentation, in the pricing presentation. This is the 3rd part of the Presentation Plus system. If you don't have it, get it. Go to listingpresentationplus.com, order it. It's phenomenal. I don't think we sell it right now. Never mind, scratch it. It was only available for bootcamp students. But if you really want it, email us and we'll hook you up. info@borinoproductions.com. So that's how you do it. You go through a pricing, simple comparison. Don't get tangled on details about the properties, especially details that don't matter. Like a bunch of photos. Never include photos, because what do photos trigger? Our house is better. Right? So you don't want to do that. You go through this language, you arrive at a price. It says, in order for you guys to be in Colorado 2 months, to get good offers, to get good qualified buyers here, the list price needs to be $649,000. It's going to sell for around $640,000 to $650,000. It would be nice to have a bidding war. Can't promise it, but if we price it competitively, if we clean up and stage it like I suggested, we should be in good shape. And then you go right for the close. Now, before we get started, do you have any questions? Good. Then let's go. And you go for the signature. If you've done the steps before, right, getting the signature at the end, getting the listing at the end is just a natural, logical step. Because they already like you, they trust you, you guide them through the process, you don't fight them on logic, they don't make logical decisions, this will all be pure emotion. And the emotion you cover. Because it is not about moving to Colorado, it's not about getting a warehouse, it is about emotion that it represents. And if I connect that, it's not hard. Yeah? Is that helpful, Jeremy? All right. So that's how you do it. With a little bit of practice and a good, strong, confident presentation, you can absolutely do it. Kirby, Turks and oh my God, dude. Kirby, sell me a property there. I would move to your beautiful island in a heartbeat. All right, Bradley says that was very helpful. Good, Jeremy liked it. I got a great lead off Rockstar Facebook. Jennifer says, fantastic. I love it. Borino says, Mari. Yes, please. Good. Love it. Excellent. Great info. Appreciate the feedback. Kirby said, a property listed for a while. Great property. We have reduced the price. We have marketed and done everything, but still no offers. Kirby, that's going to happen. We are in a crazy market, and you will see that occasionally. But here is what 95% of the time the problem is. 95% of the time. Now, again, your market may be slightly different. I doubt it. In my market, I worked for many, many years in Southern California and Los Angeles suburbs. 9 out of 10 listings expired because of price. Price. Ask yourself this, guys, if you have a listing that's been on the market for a few days, nobody came to see it, you have a price problem. If it's in the multiple listing, if you have some decent pictures, if you have a lockbox on it, nobody came to see it, guess what? People think it's too much. It doesn't matter what you think. Here is another important language. This is straight from Presentation Plus. Seller does not set the price. You, as an agent, don't set the price. Who sets the price? The market. What is the most the buyer is willing to pay? If the buyer is not willing to pay $500,000, it doesn't matter what the seller wants for it. It doesn't matter what the seller thinks it's worth. It doesn't matter what they owe on it, when they bought it, how much they pay for it. None of that matters. It's going to come down to, is the buyer willing to pay that much? Your job as an expert is to determine what price will bring that buyer and make them offer a good price for that property. So it's not about what it's worth. It may be worth the same or not. Doesn't matter. It's not about worth, value. It is only about one number. What price is it going to cost it to sell? It's as simple as that. And so many agents get stuck here. They don't have the balls, the confidence, or the desire to be honest with the seller, to tell them the truth. Mr. Seller, I very much appreciate you want to get $600,000 for it, $700,000, $800,000. I very much appreciate you think that's what it's worth. We're not here to discuss what it's worth because you and I don't set the price. It's only up to the market. And based on the analysis we've done, even you can clearly see what's going on. Then in order for you to be in Colorado 2 months from now, hanging out with your granddaughter, enjoying the retirement that you want, the list price needs to be $649,000. What do you want to do? Would you rather stay? Shut up. Let them process. Let them think. Let them digest the information. Let them compare the pain of staying versus the joy of living with the granddaughter in Colorado. I had sellers, I would sit there for 2, 3, 4 minutes in silence. It felt like an hour. But don't talk. Let their brain process, staying going, staying going, staying going. Can they trust you? Because you already know that they're thinking, well, maybe we can get another agent. Right? Excuse me. Maybe we can get somebody else. But they're going to have the same problem. The only difference is the other agent may not be as honest as you, will get the listing hoping for a price reduction later. You with me? 9 out of 10 listings don't sell because of price. So, do you have a lockbox on it? Does it show relatively nice? If nobody can see it, it's the price. Now, what if you get a bunch of people see it, lots of agents showed it, lots of buyers came, and nobody made an offer? Guess what? You got a price issue. Everybody who saw it thinks, too much. And I know you want to serve your clients well. I understand that. I know you want to do the best job for them possible. But you're doing them a disservice by misleading them about price. Or worse, you don't know what the right price should be. Then it's your competence that's in question. Because you, as an expert, especially in this crazy volatile market we have right now, need to know exactly what price will cause a property to sell. You don't know exactly what it's going to sell for, but you need to be pretty damn close. That's what your expertise comes in. That's why you need to study the market, preview properties all the time, know what's going on with interest rates, school districts, everything that impacts property value. That's your job. That's your core qualification. And those who don't know this don't deserve to get paid or be in this business. The good news is, you spend a few weeks studying, you're going to be on top of it. It's not that hard. You don't need an engineering or accounting degree to really figure this out. There are a few factors that impact property value. There are a few things you need to pay attention to. Are we in a flat market? Is it going up? Is it going down? Where is it going to go? Days on the market. How long does it take for a good listing to get offers? Because if I know, like in my market right here, it takes about 7 days at the most to get a property under contract that shows nice and that is priced right. So if I have a listing on the market for 14 days with 0 offers, I already know I got a major red flag. You with me? Do your homework, sharpen your skills. And this is also communication skills. Because you want to communicate it to the seller, not in an arrogant way, like, fuck you, you want 700,000, what are you, stupid? You wouldn't use those words. But that sometimes comes across, like you feel almost, what's the word? Never mind. You know what I'm saying. You want to communicate with compassion, but also with confidence. They'll be like, if I go to a doctor and I have a serious problem, I don't want him to start with, let's start with aspirin. I don't want that. I want the truth. I want compassion, but I also want competence and confidence. Make sense? So that's how you do it. All right. How do I push this property and keep the seller interested and not take it off the market? Kirby, you can't. You can't. Because at the end, you cannot make that call. It is not up to you. Your job, just like a doctor cannot make you go for a surgery. Doctor can explain to you. We can do surgery, we can take care of it, or you can go home and suffer. Here's what's going on. Same thing with you, Kirby. You need to be the provider of guidance. Because what's going to come down to is, in the seller's mind, and we all do this. This is, again, back to neurobiology and psychology. We process information, and the seller's processing the information. What happens if I stay versus what happens if I go? And if there is not enough discomfort and pain with staying, and there is not enough joy and passion and some positive emotion attached to living somewhere else, you don't have a seller. You don't have a deal. If there is no problem that's going to be solved by them moving, whether it's being close to the family, whether it's getting a nice big house, whether it's job transfer, there are dozens of reasons why people move. But if there's no strong emotion attached to it, there's nothing you can say or do to motivate people. I mean, shit, guys, think about it. I have a program that I believe everybody who goes through it will make you $250,000 or more if you do the work. And I have a hard time selling people on it. You should take it, you should do it. Even people who are in the program, I just tell them, show up every Monday. We have a Monday huddle. We make a plan. You execute that plan. You'll be golden. You can take a listing a week. I can't convince you. How do you expect you convince your sellers? It doesn't work that way. I can't. I can guide you, I can lead you, inspire you, give you information. Same thing with your sellers. Now, here's another part to it. Don't get attached. Don't get attached. Maybe they will move, maybe they won't. Maybe they're better off staying. Be okay with that as an option with all the sellers you deal with. It's actually one of the questions I love to ask. I would walk through the property. You know how some sellers say, you know, we remodeled, we got a new ceiling fans, and we got this, and we got that. And I would point blank ask them, and this throws them off, and that's my intention. I would ask them, Jim, you got a great house. Why not just keep it? Why not stay? And it so throws them off. No other agent ever asked that. But I want to see their reaction. I want to measure. Is there a problem? Would there be pain if they stay? Or are they so excited about being on a golf course or being in the mountains or being somewhere else? And the answer is, nah. I don't have a seller. Because I tell you, the only thing worse than not having listings is having listings with sellers who don't want to move or don't need to, who have all the time in the world. Then you're going to invest time, they're going to suck you dry for energy, for resources, for effort, and at the end you're going to bring them a good offer and they'll be like, nah, we want more. Don't do that. There are plenty of great motivated sellers out there. You have to look for them. Find them. Don't get stuck with non-motivated people. All right? Helpful? All right, let me move our thing down. So Kirby, that's what you do. And just remember, good pictures, MLS, the usual stuff. Hear me on this, guys. This is important. Let me get on a camera. I want you to hear me. Please listen to me carefully. No amount of fancy marketing will fix an overpriced listing or get it sold. No amount of even the most aggressive, clever, creative, or expensive marketing will sell an overpriced listing at the end. So don't solve pricing with marketing. Solve pricing with good communication, good presentation, and the right pricing. Now, we all make mistakes. I had an overpriced listing. It was not intentional. I screwed up. Sometimes, you know, it's a busy street or it's backed up to a train track, or there are other factors that may impact the value you may or may not be aware of. Go back and fix it. It's fixable. Do your homework. Make sure you're on. Make sure you're accurate. Go back to the seller and present it. But again, you present it with, look, you do have an option to go with another agent. I never lock my sellers in. If somebody doesn't want to work with me, I understand. Not everybody's a perfect match. But the problem will still be the same. Because no matter who the seller lists with, the home will only sell for what it's going to sell for. And that's out of control of the listing agent, the buyer's agent. It's only going to come down to agreement between the buyer and the seller, but at the end, the bottom line call will come from the buyer. And I would tell that to the seller. And trust me, if things are not going well, trust me, the seller is considering going with Jane down the street rather than you. So be okay with it, address it. And yes, sometimes you're going to lose them. That's possible. It's an expensive, but sometimes important lesson. Okay? Okie dokie. Kirby says, okay, great, know what to do. Good. Guidance and information, that's exactly right. All right. Premium home sales for sale. Would like to know, do the sellers look for the agents on their websites, Google, before accepting an appointment with them? Some do, yes, absolutely. I have a generic Keller Williams website. I try to change pictures and words more accurate to my style, but I have to be honest, it's not an amazing luxury website. You don't need amazing luxury website, but yes, people look up your information. They will look you up on social, most. They will look you up on Google. So having a nice, clean, decent website, I think, is important. Will it get you a boatload of deals? Will it be a deal breaker? No. In most cases, no. But it is definitely good to have a good, clean social media, engaging Instagram and Facebook post, maybe YouTube channel, and definitely a nice website where you demonstrate those things we talked about: who you are, what you do, where you do business, how to get in touch with you, and why you can be trusted. You don't need fancy 3D stuff. You don't need a boatload of testimonials, but a few nice testimonials plus an example of who you are. And here's a trick. Don't just share the business stuff. What resonates with people very often and what makes you stand out and makes you unique and kind of relatable is also the personal stuff. You notice how sometimes I post, like, we got a new puppy. Have you guys seen it? We got a new puppy called Bianca. We got a new home. We moved recently. All of these things resonate with people because they make you look human. And people are like, oh, you got a puppy? I got a puppy. Oh, we got a cat? I got a cat. Oh, you live there? I live there. You went to that school? I went to that school. Makes you a human being rather than just a desperate, needy, or pushy salesperson. So share that as well. Incorporate that as well. Not just that, but it should be part of the mix in your communication, in your posts, on your website. Yeah? So simple website with few key points about you, I think would help. All right. Groovy, groovy, groovy. You guys like it? Excellent. So that, my friends, is how to make money right now. And there's plenty of money to be made. So if you want to see those coaching videos on confident communication and influence, just leave your email here. We'll send you an email with a link. Video 1 will drop, most likely today or tomorrow. Don't want to promise, but no later than tomorrow. And then we're going to open the bootcamp, and because you're going to be on the VIP list, I'll let you know if you would like to join us, I'm going to take 50 students. We're going to have a really good time. It's going to be a 30-day program. Once a week, I'm going to teach a session like this one on Zoom, and then that's going to be on Wednesdays, I think, and then on Fridays, we're going to have those live role-play sessions, which is going to be a lot of fun because you're going to get kind of an opportunity to implement and try different things and be playful about it and be in a safe environment where you can test it, see what works, what doesn't work. Because guys, right now, with the way things are, this is the way it's going to be for the next, what, 6 to 12 months, right? Some of these things like good open house or door knocking or other lead generation or follow-up systems, out the window, on hold. That's why you came back to me and said communication is so important. You can't mess this up. People very quickly decide we like them, we don't like her. We like him, we don't want to do business with them. We all do it. And in the first video, I will actually explain to you the process, how it works, why it works, and most importantly, how you can fix it if people hang up on you or they're not responding or they're just cold to you or they reject you. You will see that there is a psychological reason. You may be doing one of 3 mistakes. There's actually a question you should never incorporate in your language. That's coming. That's in the first video, about halfway through. Okie dokie. So if you want to see those videos, just post me or email, let me know, and we'll hook you up. Patricia has, oh, Patricia, yes. Happened to me twice that I had a listing appointments where I told the clients where I suggested the price and they were not agreed. They hired other realtor and finally sold at the same price I told them. What can I do in those cases? Patricia, what a good question. My recommendation again would be where you probably lost them was at the beginning. And I know that hurts. You tell them 640, they go with another agent, the other agent lists at 750, and then withers them down, nips, price reduction, finally sells for 640 or even less. And you just want to pick up the phone and go, I told you so, what's the matter with you, right? I can relate to it. It happens to all of us. Once in a while, it's just going to happen. Here's what I would recommend. Number 1, better strong impression. Good strong impression. You cannot be a weak agent and you cannot be aggressive agent. You need to be right in the middle. So I would work on the first impression first and foremost. What's your follow-up? What happens during the follow-up? Are you reinforcing the persona or the image of an authority, real estate authority? You've got to be in control. How you qualify the seller, how you clear what is it that they're trying to do. Make sense? And then I would work on a rock-solid pre-listing and listing process, like the Presentation Plus, and I'm going to teach it again probably. The bootcamp was very successful. You guys really liked it, where we take it apart, the whole process, and we spent 4 weeks building it. So I might do it again, and you get the Presentation Plus from me. A lot of it happens in advance. They get a pre-listing package with your resume, with a market overview, not a CMA, just an overview, with some marketing samples. Again, reinforcing, I'm the authority, I'm the expert. You must have these things in place. And then during the presentation, I would address it. Especially if I know there are other agents, and I would, in a pre-qualification call, which there's a video you can watch, where it's about an 8-10 minute conversation with the seller. One of the questions I ask is, are you going to be interviewing other agents? And I want them to be honest with me because I want to know who my competition is, when are they coming, because here's what I will do. First, I would do a preemptive strike. I would say, that's fantastic, talk to more people, just do me a favor. They're going to try to close you. They're going to try to list you on the spot because they either don't know or don't want to disclose the things that I do as far as my marketing. Some agents just feel like it's too expensive or too complicated. So this way you can compare. I'm not saying you need to list with me, but I think it would be good for you to at least know what options you have. So would you promise me to hold off? You can always go back to them. And most sellers says, yes, no problem. So now I block the competition with a preemptive strike. Then during the presentation, I would sit down with the seller, virtually or physically, and I would say, Jim, here's the problem. There will be agents out there, either you've met already or you're going to meet, and you will notice the prices vary wildly. That they're not even close to the price that we're discussing now, the number we're discussing now. Do you wonder that? I want them to say yes. I want them to be open. I want them to feel safe to tell me the truth, saying, you know what, we talked to Susan down the street. She said she can get us 50,000 more. So we're thinking about going with her. I want them to tell me that. I want them to feel honest and open and trust me enough to give me that information, because now I have something real that I can work with. You with me? So I would acknowledge it. and I say, first I will do a pattern interrupt, and I will throw it out there, and it's almost like I flick them in the face, but you have to be very gentle and compassionate with it. But I would say, I wonder why they lie to you. And I would just look them straight in the eye. Now, this requires some confidence and some skill. Because you don't want to say, I wonder why those assholes lie to you. It's a very different message, right? The tonality is very different. Intention is very different. But I would say, I wonder why they lie to you. Because what's the truth? Is Susan lying to the seller? And there are only two reasons why Susan is lying to the seller. Well, three. First, you need to be absolutely rock solid and know that it ain't going to sell for $700,000. That's why the expertise is so important. That's critical. That's why your competence is so important. But once you know, and it's not hard to figure out in most cases what list price would cause the property to sell and what is the most the seller is going to sell for. Once I know that number, I can be very confident and say, why are they lying to you? Because there are only two reasons why agents lie. Either they don't know the market enough, they're not an expert, maybe Susan is out of the area, or she just doesn't know, she didn't do her homework. That's a possibility. More likely, she's telling you the price you want to hear so that she can get the listing. And whether it sells or not doesn't really matter a whole lot because she's going to put a sign out there, get some buyers, get paid, sell some other homes, which is fine, except you'll be stuck here. The second alternative she's going to play is called the role play game, the price reduction game. She's going to come back later and says, well, we're a little high, we need to adjust the price. And at the end, the buyers start wondering what's wrong with the house, why hasn't it sold? And you may walk away with less. Neither one of these scenarios, I believe, is fair to you. It's perfectly fine if you decide to go with her, you just need to be aware what's going on. What would you like to do? And I just sit there, and I just let them process, and I'm quiet, and I'm not fidgeting, I'm not doing anything, I'm totally comfortable. I let them tell me the truth. Because only one of two things will happen. Either I will get the listing, or I will not. And I'm okay with either one. I will do my best to get that listing because I want to serve that client, because I know they're in much better hands with me than Susan. But there comes a point where no matter what I do or say, I can't get it. I will wish them best of luck. Get up, walk out. And the fact that I have the freedom to walk away just like they do, this freedom that creates no attachment, you can almost touch it. It's so evident. And clients so love it, and they so respond to it, and it makes you so genuine and authentic, where they know they have the freedom to say, no thanks, just like you do. And you having that freedom is so liberating. Because in your mind, you know, plenty of business, 4.72 million transactions this year. I'm going to get my share no matter what. Maybe with these people, maybe not. Yeah? Is that helpful? What do you say, Patricia? Anna Maria, that is so sweet. I love that comment. Let me show you. That is the nicest comment. Borino's the bomb. Love it. Thank you. Thanks for that. All right, my friends. This was time well spent. You enjoyed it? Yes? If you'd like to see those confidence and influence videos, just give me your email. We'll put you on a VIP list. You'll be able to watch them. Ask me questions, of course. Any questions you have about communication, influence, persuasion, without being pushy, needy, salesy, without reciting some scripts like a parakeet, like a telemarketer. Don't do that, please. You don't need to. It's not necessary. You can get plenty of business just being you, authentic you. Now, with that, you need to be confident, you need to be competent, you need to be compassionate, which is what we're going to work on. Yes? I showed the video. We finally did the final cut. I showed it to my daughter. She's my tester. She's 14. She sat through the whole thing. It's 15 minutes, and she sat through the whole thing going, that's good, I enjoyed it. So that's a good test for me. When a 14-year-old teenager is willing to watch my video, I'm onto something. So can't wait to get your feedback. There's a form below the video. Once you watch it, leave me a feedback, leave me questions. I'll read those, love those. Just like here, just like on Rockstars. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. We finally have the studio. You like it? This thing changes colors. You want to see? Watch. I'm really digging it. So we can go green. We can go purple. We can go blue. We can go red. Oh, orange. Hold on. And red. How cool is that? Green, blue. I like the blue the most. You like the blue? What do you like? What's your favorite color? Let me know. All right. And that's my man, Mr. Steve Jobs. That's Mr. Tony Robbins, David Ogilvy. Good stuff. Love my new studio. Wait till the board comes in. Oh, I'm excited. That's going to be fun. All right, my friends, thank you very much. Can you share the listing sample? Mari, email me. I'm not sure I know what you mean. The studio is kick-ass, much better, says Anna Maria. Glad you like it. It's kind of cool, right? We're going to do some fun stuff here. All right, my friends, email me, borino@expartplus.com, borino@expartplus.com, or info@borinoproductions.com. We'll be happy to help you with anything I can. Blue and red, says Patricia. Discotheque, yeah, it actually flashes to the music. I haven't figured out how to make that work, but that's pretty kick-ass. That would be fun. We're going to do some fun stuff. Yeah. All right. Glad you like it, David. Thank you very much for hanging out here with me today, guys. I appreciate you very much. If there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. Would love to have you in the boot camp. That's coming. Info is coming on it. This Thursday is going to be good. Let me mention that before I go. Top coach and presenter from Tony Robbins. That's Tony. My friend, Stephen Hilgard will be here on Thursday. We're going to talk about mindset hacks. Good stuff. Stephen really knows his stuff. So he's been with Tony for a long time. He's done his presentations. He's done a lot of stuff for Tony. Love my man, Stephen. I hung out with him several times. We had personal interactions. I did presentation for his group and stuff. So join us. That's going to be this Thursday right here on Rockstars. We're going to do a live session. If you have questions about mindset, if you feel mentally stuck, if you feel tired, if you feel like you're not on point, you're not focused enough, if you don't feel excited, if you don't have enough passion, enough juice, enough energy, if you don't feel like you're not bringing enough to the table and the money is not there as a result of your mindset, come join us. There's no huge pitch at the end. No, like you got to buy these 17 books and buy tickets to Tony Robbins. I mean, if you can, of course, my man Steven always hooks us up. He gives a great deal. Last year, I went to see Tony with Hannah, with my wife. We went to San Jose. He got us great seats, got us great tickets. So he's going to hook you up if you want. They do the virtual now for Tony. So ask about it. But the point will be, we're going to spend about an hour talking about practical strategies to help you get the energy back, get the focus back, get the passion back. And I know these days you turn on fucking news and it's all just bad news and horrible news and hurricanes and viruses and politics and all that. And it's crazy. It's hard. So join us on Thursday. It's going to be this Thursday live. Come ask questions. We're going to hang out with Steven. It's going to be good. Okay? All right. Thanks for always coming from Contribution Coach. You are a world changer, says Anna Maria Marquez. Thank you. Thanks, Coach. Good seeing you in love with the new setup. Appreciate it. All right, guys. Sean, appreciate it. Thank you all. You guys have a fantastic rest of the day. My name is Borino. I'm your coach. Appreciate you being here today. I'll see you all on Thursday. Have a fantastic day. Let's go get them. Ciao. Bye, everybody.